The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Welcome back, children. So, last week we were discussing about the sense organs, right? How important are sense organs. We learnt about one sense organ, that is eyes. Eyes are very important sense organs which connect us to the world we live in. Through eyes, we understand things better and gain a lot of knowledge. In fact, eyes are the most important sense organ from which we gain more knowledge. We learnt about the different parts of eyes. We also were aware of the precautions to be taken to protect these important sense organs, right? Equally important is communication. Communication also helps us to gain more and more knowledge. What is communication? Communication is sharing our ideas, listening, understanding, etc. For better communication, we should have good listening skills. The more you listen, the more you gain knowledge. For good listening, you should have good hearing sense. So today, we are going to study about the second sense organ, that is ears. Blindness separates us from things, but deafness separates us from people. So children, ears are very important for us to connect ourselves with the people we live with. So what are the different parts of the ears? Actually, only one part is exposed. External part, we call it as pinna, P-I-N-N-A, okay? So this part is called as pinna. This pinna helps us to receive all the sounds or detect the sounds, and it transmits it to the brain, and brain helps us to recognize the sound we hear, okay? So is pinna the only part? Look at the internal part of the ear. Yes, there are many parts. All these parts you will be learning in higher classes, okay? So pinna, along with the other parts, which are internal parts, receive the sound, transmit it to the brain, and the brain helps us to recognize what sound is that, okay? So ears are very important sense organs. Often you can see people, maybe you, sometimes you also, inserting things into, objects into the ears. Is it correct? No, it can cause adverse effects. So how can you protect the sense organ, that is ears? Do not put sharp objects or any objects into the ears, number one. Number two, take care that you don't get any blow somewhere in this portion of the ear. It will affect the internal part of the ear. Number three, do not pour any liquid or water into the ear. And number four, be careful that you don't get yourself exposed to high volume sounds, because it might affect the internal parts of the ear. So these are the four important points, that is precautions to be taken to protect your sense organ, that is ears. Isn't it? Children, have you seen snakes? Yes, you would have seen. Do they have ears? How do they detect sound? Actually, children, we receive sound when the sound is transmitted through air. Snakes cannot receive sound which is transmitted through air, but they can even make out the faintest sound. How? How can they detect? Yes, they can hear the sound if the sound is transmitted through the ground. That is why snakes are capable of hearing even the faintest sound. When we walk from a little longer distance itself, snakes can identify us, and you can see snakes crawling and reaching somewhere into their hideouts, isn't it? So, snakes can make out the faintest sound if the sound is transmitted through the ground. Interesting, right? So, children, shall we move to our next sense organ, that is nose? How important is nose? Shall we move to that? Children, you are sitting in the hall watching TV, some cartoon shows. Can you easily detect the smell if your mother is cooking something special for you, sitting in the hall? Sometimes she might be cutting a ripe jackfruit. Can you detect the smell from the corner of the street? Yes, actually we have good sense of smell. That is why we are able to detect these smells. But children, actually human beings have a weak sense of smell, it seems. There are other creatures or living things which have high sense of smell. Who are they? They are called as stalwarts of smell. Who are they? Look at the picture in the textbook. Yes, dog and snakes. Actually, you would have seen dogs being used for investigation, right? Crime investigations by police. So, why do they use the dogs? Dogs have a very high sense of smell. They can even detect a thief if he drops something, any of his objects. From the smell of that object, the dogs can make out the criminals or the way they traveled. So, dogs have very high sense of smell. How about a snake? Snakes are the stalwarts of smell. They can detect the smell of a blood from a very long distance, even in a sea. They are called as stalwarts of smell. Often you see snakes putting out their tongues. Why do they put out their tongues? Yes, to detect the smell. So that is why they are called the stalwarts of smell. Children, now we will move to the next sense organ, that is tongue. Actually, tongue helps us to give the taste of food, isn't it? It helps us in gaining the sense of taste. Children, which is your favorite food? Why do you like that food very much? It is because of the taste. So, our tongue helps us to identify the different tastes, and that is why the particular food becomes our favorite food. Actually, what happens is, when you consume food, it gets mixed with the saliva and creates impulses, and it stimulates the taste buds in the tongue. These stimulations will reach the brain and helps us to identify the different tastes of food, whether it is sweet, sour, bitter, spicy, whatever. Okay? So, look at the picture of the tongue. See, you can see the different taste buds situated in different area of the tongue. So, where are the taste buds to identify the sweetness of a food? Yes, you can see that it is seen in the tip portion of the tongue. So, that is why these different taste buds will help us to identify the different tastes of food. So, tongue is very important to identify the taste of any food, right? Children, now we will move to the next sense organ, that is skin. Actually, Can we recognize even when a small ant is moving on our body? Yes, the skin helps us to realize that, right? When a thorn pricks our legs, we are able to identify that. We give a small scream, isn't it? Because it caused us pain. That small thorn has caused us pain. That is why we scream, right? So actually, the skin is the biggest sense organ of our body. It is the biggest organ, okay? So this skin helps us in the sense of touch. What all things can you sense using this skin? You can sense the heat, smoothness, roughness, right? Size, shape, etc. Using the touch, sense of touch, you can identify all these. So skin is very important to identify the things that we come in contact with. How can you protect the skin? Yes, you should not expose your skin to high heat or excess cold. It is not good for our skin. Both excess heat and excess cold, both are not good for our skin. What else? While bathing, you should clean your skin very well. Isn't it? How do you clean your skin? Using soap, right? So, while taking bath, you should take extreme care that you clean all the parts of the skin very well. Otherwise, what happens? It will accumulate all the dirt and it might lead to some other diseases. So, take extreme care that you clean your skin every day. Children, just think what happens if you don't have the sense of touch. What will happen? You will not be able to identify the injuries or the wounds that is happening to your skin, isn't it? You won't realize that. Blood will keep on going, you won't have any pain, so you won't bother about what is happening to your skin, right? It's very dangerous, isn't it? Actually, do all the parts of the skin have same sense of touch? No, the inner part of the hands are very rough, whereas the outer part of the hands are little more smooth, right? So, which is the smoothest part of the skin? Yes, your lips, fingers, cheeks, all these are some part of the skin which are extremely soft. They have high sense of touch. Children, now we have a tabular column in your textbook which helps us to learn more about the skin. Shall we move to that? So, situation in the figure is a child looking at the rainbow. What is the information gained? Colors of the rainbow, shape of the rainbow. What is the organ that is made use of? Naturally, eyes. What else can you see? You can write it down in your textbook. A mother is cooking. So, what happens there? What is the information gained? You can see the daughter getting the smell while the mother is cooking. So, you gain. What are the information gained? The type of food, whether it is sweet or taste. You can write it down. What type of food is being cooked? That is the information gained by the child. Which is the sense organ used? Naturally, nose. You can see the next picture. A blind man walking. Write it down in the tabular column. A blind man walking using a cane. What is the information gained? Obstacles on the way. That is the information gained. Using the cane, this visually impaired man gains knowledge whether there are any obstacles on the road. What is the organ that is made use of? Ears. As he doesn't have good eyes, he is using his ears to identify the obstacles. Look at the boy. So, you can write down. A boy is eating apple. So, what is the information gained? Yes, the sweetness or the taste of the fruit. You can write it down. The taste of the fruit. What is the information gained? He gains information about the taste of the food. And which organ is made use of? Naturally, the tongue. tongue is the organ that is made use of. So, children, now we have learnt about all the sense organs and you have also understood how important are sense organs. So, there is a box given in your textbook, we will read that and we will give explanation also. Look into the box. All living things gather much information from the surroundings. This information is used to catch prey, to identify the mate, to escape from enemies and to learn the changes around us. So, these sense organs for other creatures other than human beings, it helps them to catch prey, to identify the mate, to escape from enemies and to learn things around them. For this, there are certain organs in all creatures. All creatures have certain sense organs. Human beings have 5 organs, namely eye, ear, nose, tongue and skin. These organs which give us information about the surroundings are sense organs. So, how are you going to maintain these sense organs? How clean can you keep all these sense organs? What are the precautions to protect these sense organs? So, we will read that. Clean the body every day by taking bath. So, is it true or false? You have to put a tick if it is true and you have to put a cross if it is wrong. Is it true? Yes, you have to clean your body. So, put a tick in the box. Okay. Protect the skin from excessive heat and cold. Is it true? Yes, it is true. You have to protect your body from excess heat and cold. So, you can put a tick over there. Soap, cream and powder are required for the health of the skin. Is it essential? Is it mandatory that you should use soap, powder, etc.? Olden days there were no soap. They used to use, what is that? Usually they use gram flour. Okay. So, it is not mandatory. So, you can put a cross over there. Wash your eyes daily with cold water. Is it true? Yes, it is true. So, you can put a tick over there. Do not rub eyes with hand when dust or small creatures fall into it. Usually it happens. So, when some dust or small creatures fall into your eyes, you should not rub. Usually children do that, isn't it? So, you should not do that. You have to clean your eyes. Do not watch TV in the dark room. It is correct. Never watch TV in a dark room. You have to switch on the light and watch TV in a well lit room. Okay. Do not put pointed objects into the ear. So, put a tick over there. Do not listen to intense sounds continuously, that is high volume sounds. So, it is not correct. So, you can put a tick over there. Okay. So, one more box is there, Snellen's chart. In a Snellen's chart, letters, numerals or symbols are recorded in 7 lines in different sizes. The primary testing of vision is done by checking the number of lines. You can read properly from top to bottom. The chart is to be read from a distance of 6 meters. Using Snellen's chart in your school, examine your vision. Seek the help of an eye specialist if you cannot read all the lines clearly. Usually, you see this chart in eye hospitals, right? Eye specialist uses this chart to find out how clear or how good our vision is, isn't it? So, this is called Snellen's chart. Okay. Now, shall we move to let us assess? Look at the first question. Establish the logic of the proverb. Closed eyes, open up ears. So, the notes for this will be sent to you. Okay, you can copy down. We don't realize the values of eyes when we have them. What are the ways to protect our precious eyes? So, these are all essay type questions. Definitely you will get notes for that. Sense organs, windows of knowledge, substantiate. Okay. So, these are the questions. All these questions, the answer for all these questions will be sent to you. You will write down the notes after the notes have been sent to you. So, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, children. Sense organs, isn't it? How many sense organs are there? 5 sense organs: eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. So, eyes help us to see what is happening around us, isn't it? Ears, they help us in the sense of hearing. Nose helps us in the sense of smelling. Tongue, it helps us to taste things, and skin is the largest, being the largest organ in the body. Skin helps us to touch things and recognize, isn't it? It also helps us to realize the heat, cold, smoothness, roughness, shape, size, etc. So, all these sense organs are equally important. Now, we are also aware how to protect all these organs. What are the precautions to protect all these sense organs? So, I hope you liked this lesson. This lesson was quite interesting. So, bye children. See you in the next class with a new chapter. Okay? Take care. Bye.